Jason Carey here, National Urban League Small Business Matters, brought to you by Nationwide. Today in this episode, we're featuring Nationwide Senior Executive Lou Yarbrough III. Let's get to it. Jason Carey, welcome back to Small Business Matters here at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneur Summit, hosted by Nationwide. Speaking of Nationwide, I get the opportunity and the pleasure to sit down with Mr. Lou Yarbrough III. Make sure we give everybody credit. Make sure we say the third, right?
Appreciate that.
Title. Give them your full title.
It is Associate Vice President of Diverse and Cause Marketing at Nationwide.
So, of course, we want to talk about supporting small businesses. Nationwide is a supporter of small businesses. Specifically, small business owners. Why does Nationwide choose to support small businesses?
You know, there's a couple of reasons why. One, small businesses, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, account for about 28 million businesses in the U.S.
Okay.
The other fact is that of that, small businesses generate roughly 54% of all sales in the country, and they also represent 55% of all the job creation. So anybody who is concerned about the strength of the U.S. economy has to be committed to and at least understand why small business is so important, not just to Nationwide, but to our economy.
People get this wrong sometimes. What is a small business? How do you define a small business?
You know, for us, there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. You can look at the amount of the sales volume, or you can look at the number of employees.
Okay.
And we typically look at the number of employees. So anybody who has 4 or less associates or employees, because they have different challenges than larger organizations. So that's how we kind of define small business,
Okay.
and those are the ones that we want to make sure we're laser focused on.
And what are some tools and resources Nationwide has to provide for small business?
Well, actually one of the great tools that we have is a business solutions center that we actually launched last year during the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurial Summit with small businesses. Because if we're going to create a tool for small businesses, you might as well build it with those folks in mind. And so we're also fine tuning it, but it is a great tool where small businesses can go and get information about industry trends. They can get information about financial picture, how to actually protect themselves against cybersecurity, HR, marketing, all the essentials that a small business needs to grow and support itself can be found at the Business Solutions Center.
And is that located here in Charlotte?
Actually, it's a website you can go to right off of our main page. So you can do it virtually, and then it's supplemented by folks that they can connect with that will be here at the Black Enterprise, the Nationwide booth.
And is there information about funding? Because that's a big thing for small businesses. They always want to know, as small businesses, how do we go about funding? How do we grow?
That is a question. People talk about funding, but there is information about funding, but there's also information about the scale that's needed too. Because more importantly than funding, a lot of small businesses find out once you get the funding, then what's next? And it is, how do you scale so that you can work with larger companies and be more sustainable for a long period of time?
Talking about scaling, about growth, what do you need to know just going into starting a small business and growing it?
One of the things that we found is that be very, very laser focused on what your competitive advantage is. Because lots of small businesses, they're doing it because they love doing X, but they haven't honed in on their storytelling as well as their positioning of what their company does that no other company does. And that's really the secret key to most organizations unlocking not only funding, but scaling and partnering opportunities.
This web series is called Small Business Matters. Why did Nationwide decide to support this web series?
There are a couple of reasons. It's part of our heritage, it's part of our DNA. People look at Nationwide now, we're a Fortune 68 company, but we didn't start that way. We started as a small group of entrepreneurs who had a noble purpose around 2 things. 1, creating more value for our members, and 2, making a positive difference in the lives of others. And then when you kind of combine the small business focus of Black Enterprise with the community focus of the Urban League, I would argue that there's not an organization more committed to helping individuals gain educational and job opportunities than the Urban League. And I would also argue that there are not two more important things that can change the quality and trajectory of a person's life than having a good education and finding that right job. So all of that works well for us, and that's why we've decided to make sure we're a part of it.
I appreciate that. We always hear, I've heard the tagline, Nationwide is on your side. I would sing it. I don't know if you
no, I'm not singing.
Don't want me to do that?
No,
okay,
no.
We're not going to sing it today. But we always hear Nationwide is on your side, but we've never heard someone from Nationwide explain what that means. So when we hear it, what does it mean to us?
You know, Nationwide is on your side is more than a slogan to us. It really is part of the DNA of Nationwide. It goes back to our humble beginnings of a small group of entrepreneurs, and it goes back to wanting to make sure that we provide a positive difference in the lives of the folks that we come across. And when we talk about being on your side, it's all about being there at the times that matter most and protecting and helping grow what matters to you. Because what's important to one individual may be slightly different to others. And so the purpose of saying on your side and it being a little bit vague to some is because of the fact that for everybody, being on your side takes a little different shape, a little different manifestation. But when we say on your side, that's really what we mean, is that we're being there to support you in a time that you may not be, it may not be the best day of your life. You know, there might be an auto accident or a fire or some disaster. Or it could be that you're starting a new business and you don't know where to turn. Whatever matters to you most, that we're there to help you be successful in those moments. And that's what we mean when we say on your side.
Okay. So I might sing it a little bit more now. That's all great information. We want to thank you again for being here. Jason Carey, Mr. Lou Yarbrough III, Small Business Matters.